So in my time at Momofuku, I started as a social media intern. At one point, I was a design director. I was a creative director at one point. I was a chief of staff at one point, and then eventually became CEO in 2019. I think I'm really lucky to have worked in so many different roles at the company. I think it allows me to be extremely empathetic to what it takes on a daily basis to operate restaurants and to produce these products. I'm Marguerite Mariscal. I'm the CEO of Momofuku. I'm 34 years old, and this is my daily routine. Working in the restaurant industry, I've never been an early riser. We typically start at 10 a.m., so I'm waking up around 7:30 or 8. I usually check my email from bed, which I know is not the best thing, but it's probably the first thing I do in the morning, just to make sure there are no fires, anything that happened the night before, since we have restaurants open till midnight. We have restaurants on the West Coast, so just checking in. From there, I'll wake up in time to go to Off Leash in Prospect Park or Fort Greene Park with my Spinoni Italiano. From there, I'll come back. I'll usually sit at my desk for about an hour, so around 8, 8:30, 9, depending on the day. I'll sit down, I'll start going through my emails for the day. The first thing I do when I get to my computer is look at my schedule for the day and kind of jigsaw everything around. There's usually some meeting that gets bumped, some meeting that needs to get moved up, so really just setting up the day and looking at it. From there, I'll be drinking coffee probably from 9 a.m. onward, mostly iced coffee. I do not eat breakfast. Everyone tells me that that's an issue, but so far so good. Probably in meetings, mostly Zoom calls, phone calls, for the beginning of the day. On any given day, I think it's like 12 to 15 different meetings or phone calls. So I live in Brooklyn, near Park Slope, and I walk to work pretty consistently. If it's not freezing, I'll try to do it. It's about an hour. I love to walk as much as humanly possible, so I'll try to take phone calls where I can walk and talk, and then I'll get to the office, maybe around 12 or 1, and I'll have some in-person meetings, or I'll walk over to the restaurants to have meetings there. For lunch, I would say, once again, really not a priority for me. It's mostly eating for sustenance. I'm working until 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. depending on the day, if I have to go into the restaurants, if I have a drink with someone. We at Momofuku started doing home cooking products during 2019, 2020, and it really came out of Dave and I, the chef at Momofuku and founder, really cooking at home for the first time of our lives as well. During the pandemic, that was the first time in our lives that we were cooking dinner every single night, and so really having good quality pantry staples that we could use at home was kind of the impetus for a lot of it. So when I cook at home, I use a bunch of the products. I try to plot out throughout the day what we're gonna cook, shop for ingredients. If I happen to be in a meeting uptown, I'll think about what I can grab around there, or if I'm in Chinatown, just really trying to take advantage of my work schedule to fuel my dinner schedule. I try to stop working when I get home. I'm on my phone just making sure that nothing's coming through that I need to pay attention to. Sometimes I'll sit on my couch and answer, easy work emails or things that I can kind of casually do while winding down, but I try as best as I can to really carve out space to just focus on anything that's not work, at least for a couple hours. I'm probably home around 8 after dinner. If I'm not super stressed about what's going on at work, I'll make a couple old fashions or martinis, and my girlfriend and I like to play cards, so we'll play gin rummy. I don't get to bed early. I think probably the amount of blue light I intake in bed is not helpful, but I wouldn't say I'm in bed until midnight or 1, and then the schedule repeats itself.